No. That's wrong. Dixie Diamonds, 58. Dixie Road, Cooktown, Three Islands National Park, 2:38 p.m. Well, Karen said aloud, upon finding herself once again in exclusive control of her voluntary nervous system, that was fascinating. I've never been hypnotized, but there could be parallels. I mean, I was aware of what Balloony and I were doing, but my actions required no conscious or subconscious thought on my part. Fascinating. And how do you feel? Balloony asked. Do you in any way feel as though the task you performed was objectionable? Objectionable, Karen repeated. Not in the least. It was very similar to taking dictation. The biggest difference being that with dictation I tend to flinch a bit when the person for whom I'm typing uses improper grammar or poor sentence structure. With telepathy I merely went with the flow rather than second-guessing my speaker. Give me just a moment to read our correspondence, and then, if we're both satisfied, I'll hit send. Lovely, Balloony replied. I'm going to momentarily exclude you from our rapport. That way you won't be distracted by our conversations. Just reach out to me when you're ready, and I'll hook you back in. Acceptable. Sounds like a wonderful plan, Karen replied. I'll holler when I'm done. Lovely, Balloony said. Holler away and I'll reconnect, it said with a chuckle before breaking telepathic rapport with Karen. Not quite 7 a.m. in France, it said. I wish I knew if Rosie is the type of human who checks his messages first thing or if he waits until he gets to work, assuming he's even going into work today. That's out of our control, dear, Lizzie replied. No sense worrying about things we can't influence. Obviously, I don't know your Rosier, she added, but based on what you've told me and his incredible achievement of creating beings like you, my guess would be he's the type to check his messages early on. But you're right, school is almost certainly not in session, and today could be a holiday in France. We'll just do what we can, hope for the best, and continue fortifying for the worst, right? Yes, you're absolutely right, Balloony replied. Hey, it added, Edward and Lizzie had an interesting question for me that I'd like to get feedback on. They feel that calling me it is cold and depersonalizes me. We had a little discussion concerning my pronouns. You know, it and its. Obviously, I'm neither a he nor a she, so I was thinking about adopting your zim ziz, Jerald, and I wanted to know how you felt about that. I mean, you're both male and female, while I'm neither, and, well, I'm not sure how to proceed. I'd love to share my pronouns with you, Balloony, Jerald declared. We're certainly more different from other, what do you say, sentient life forms than we are one another. We may be different from one another, but you and I are tied together by our differences from nearly every other sentient life form. I'd be pleased as punch if you and I were twins with our pronouns. Thank you, Jerald, Balloony whispered. You, Lizzie, Edward, Cheeky, and now Miss Pye and Karen have made me feel welcome, loved, and whole. I can't thank you enough for loving me. Balloony, Karen said aloud, I'm all set and ready to join our group. Lovely, Balloony replied as it brought Karen back into rapport.